Hey y'all, these are your July 5. We have pelvic clock, bird dog, your farmer's carry, a medicine ball push-up, and a doorway chest stretch. So you will need a medicine ball or a yoga block, something that you can rest your hand on for our push-up variation, and a heavy weight for your farmer's carry. So we're starting with this pelvic clock. Come onto the floor. Totally relax your back, relax your neck, relax your shoulders. Take a big deep breath, soften your belly. This is a real easy release exercise. And this is one of those where less really is more. I'm going to imagine a little marble or grape on my belly button. I'm going to start to roll my marble towards my pubic bone and then towards my chest. So I'm rocking my pelvis, what I'm calling north and south, or flexion and extension, rolling my marble towards my feet, towards my head. One more just like that. Rolling my imaginary marble. And then picture the opposite of that, rolling your marble towards your left hip, back to center, towards your right hip. So this one doesn't look like much. It's not a big, huge move. I'm not whipping my pelvis around. I'm just weighting my left hip a little bit, making it heavy. And then my right hip, one more each way. Relax your neck, relax your shoulders. Your spine can move, your shoulders can move, your knees can move, but my pelvis is the driver. Now we're going to put all that together. Weighted pelvic, pubic bone, weighted tailbone is what I'm trying to say. That way, and then weighted left hip. So now I'm going to the left, and then my waist comes onto the floor, and then my right hip. So now you roll in your pelvis in a circle. This one reminds me of, let's see how old y'all are. If you played that car game when you were a kid, a little maze, and there was a little tiny metal ball, and you're trying to roll yeah, so I'm trying to roll my little metal ball around. Now I'm going to go the other direction. Circle. This is back before we had a minivan with a DVD player. You had to play games in the car, fight with your brothers. Okay, here's your circle. Down to the right, waist to the left. And just notice if there's a sticky spot, go back and forth through the sticky spot. So you could really spend 5 minutes or so working on this circle. None of this should hurt. It shouldn't hurt your back or your neck. I'm not trying to hold anything in place. You could speed it up a little, circle and circle. This one, though, the slower you go, the more information you're going to gather as to how your pelvis moves. Now we got our bird dog. Stack your shoulders right over your wrists and your hips over your knees. This is one that it's easy to do this wrong. So I would suggest getting yourself where you can see yourself in your screen. If you're on your computer, like turn on a Zoom meeting. If you've got a mirror in your room, because what I don't want to do is start way back here and get all crunched up or twist my torso. Okay, having said that, here's my good setup. I'm making a little box from my shoulders and my wrists, knee to my hip. Yep. Push the ground away. Take a big inhale. Exhale. Start to lift your belly just enough to have a little tone and organization through your corset. So I'm not gripping and I'm not tucking. Take another big inhale. On your next big exhale, slide your right arm and left leg out just a smidge. Come back to center. Second side. Left arm and right leg. So I feel work. My obliques have to work to keep me from twisting. If you're ready to add your lift, opposite arm and leg, lift, pause, switch sides. So this is another less is more move. I'm not going for height or speed. I'm going for stability. Not moving my pelvis. Notice your neck. And you keep your neck nice and long. Let's do 4 more just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Just keep breathing. It doesn't really matter where you breathe in and out. Last 2. Just as long as you're breathing. Last one. That was your bird dog, opposite arm and leg, stabilizing your torso. I'm going to show your farmer's carry today, holding one weight. If you try this and it just doesn't feel good on your back, weight both arms. But the point of doing it with one weight is that I do have to use my core a little differently. Yeah, because my weight's trying to pull me over. Okay, but here's the move. Get everybody nice and organized. Organize your torso, brace yourself, push your head to the ceiling, widen your shoulders. Now I'm going to try to keep everything up top pretty still. I'm going to step out onto one heel. It's a pretty tiny little step, so I'm not going real far. I shift my weight forward, switch to your other leg, step out, switch. This is literally how slow I want you to go. Step out. So I'm going to run out of room on my mat here shortly. When you run out of room, just turn around and go back. See if you can get about 10 of these. That was 5. I'm going to turn around and keep going. Same exact thing. 6. So it's a pretty tiny, but it could be even a half a step, not even the length of your foot. 8. So it's not about covering ground. 9. Here's 10. So I'm just alternating, stepping left and right. This is the purpose of this move, is to keep your corset nice and still and good shoulder stability. Okay, now we've got second side holds the weight. We're going to go 10, stepping out. Notice that transition when you go from one leg to the other. I'm going to face the camera and do a couple of steps just so you can see my torso. That's 3. Here's 4. So this is not how you would normally walk. When you normally walk, your pelvis moves, your shoulder moves. That's 5. I'm going to turn around and go back. That's 5. Last 4. This is not a normal walking gait. This is firming everything up. 3. Last 2. And you might find your balance is really what's the challenging part, especially if you're in a pretty narrow stance. Okay, give that a shot. Slow walking, thinking of keeping everything organized. All right, y'all, we got our medicine ball push-up. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, right? We just got to do it. Knees down or straight leg. One hand on the ball, one hand on the floor. I'm going to show straight leg, and I'm going to do 5. Bend and straighten your elbows. 4. Keep breathing. 3. Drop to your knees if you get in trouble, or make this a really tiny bend. 2. Last 1. I'm going to switch and go side number 2. Hand on the medicine ball. Keeping myself nice and straight down the middle of the mat for 5. 4. 3. 2. Last 1. Oh, those are not easy. So another good, kind of like that walking with good stabilization. I'm trying to avoid twisting or doing anything weird to my torso. And that offset hand position makes me use my obliques even more. Now this will feel really nice after those push-ups. We're going to do a doorway chest stretch. So I don't have a good doorway in here where I guess I could get in the closet, but I'm not going to. I'm just going to show like this. Go find a doorway. If you've got a doorway nearby, you could do one arm at a time in the doorway. Yeah, so you're standing in the doorway. Find a doorway that's not going to pinch your fingers. So be sure you're on the molding side, not the hingy side, just in case you got somebody else in the house with you. Big chest stretch. You can lean forward. You could slide your arms up and down. So we'll just hold this for about 3 more big deep breaths. Doorway chest stretch. Last 2. Last 1. Okay, so we had our pelvic clock, that real slow circle. A lot of good stabilization. Your bird dog, opposite arm and leg. Farmer's walk, same thing, trying to keep everything squared up as you take tiny little steps. Your med ball push-ups, I don't know what to tell you about that one. That's a tough one. And then your chest stretch.